the handler isn't able to effectively communicate. It's not like us sitting down having a conversation. That is on the handler. The sacrifice that comes along with being a canine handler. It is your own time, money, and an effort. For the last 24 years, Officer Glitchio has embodied exactly that level of commitment. He hasn't worked one dog or two, but he successfully worked 3 dogs for the city of Newport. And then when I say worked them, he didn't just work them. He built those dogs into assets that the police department in our community has been able to use over the years. He started with a dog named Valco. He selected Valco as a puppy, then he moved to Canine Box. The big thing with Canine Box is he barked all the time, and when they would call Gooch on the radio, he would answer by letting the dog bark into the radio. That's when dispatch knew it was good. Gooch copied the radio. And he ends his career with Canine Kilo. To build 3 dogs and train them yourself, select them yourself, and build them into the assets of the department that Officer Glitchio was able to is nothing short of amazing. It takes perseverance, consistency, and the timeless drive to not accept nothing but excellence. Officer Glitchio is not here today just to be remembered for his impact in canine, but surely his impact on everyone involved that he has touched. He's touched every officer in here. I would imagine a lot of the fire department can have a Gooch story. They all go back to him and his dogs. With that, I really appreciate your 24 years of service. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to get to say I got to work next to you.
Usually we pin the awards to the officer, but obviously in this situation, we thought we'd get a really nice chain to give to Officer Glitchio here. I used to be Valco's chew toy whenever he would train, and believe me, it does not feel good when these dogs chomp down. So,
Good dog, good dog.
but thank you, Officer Glitchio. Thank you very much, Kilo, and enjoy retirement, buddy.
Great. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break for a photo op, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Turn.
Tommy needs a bow tie.
A bow tie? I'm good. I do have bow ties too.
I can't tie them. I'm just happy if I can get the first pass whenever I do.
Well, I think the tuxedo places just kind of give you the ones that you attach in the back. Yeah, that takes skill to be
I
able
think
to
I look
tie.
like a Pee Wee Herman if I had a bow tie.
No, you don't want to do that.
I think Pee Wee did.
Skill to be able to tie a bow tie. I think.
Mike's going back on.
Okay.
I haven't tied a tie in years, but I used to be able to tie my ties
Sharon outside.
with my eyes
Just
closed.
send him a message.
There he is.
There he is. Tiffany, can you call us back in, please?
Commissioner Redwanski.
Here.
Vice Mayor Smith Morrow.
Here.
Commissioner Recton.
Here.
Commissioner Sutherland.
Here.
Mayor Kaduli.
Here. The next item on the agenda is a proclamation, but we're going to hold that proclamation in alignment with the legislation attached to it. So, the next presentation, we welcome Bill Kinzeller from River Roots. To share the excitement of this upcoming festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the second or third time that I've had the opportunity to meet with you and speak with you about River Roots. First of all, I would like to tell you and the assembled citizenry that Alan Bernstein is presently in Washington, D.C. at the request of somebody in the administration, so Lord knows what he's trying to save tonight. As a matter of introduction, I am a Cincinnati kid that grew up on the west side of Cincinnati. Our family was in the harbor and fleeting business in Ludlow, Kentucky for 26 years. I have grown up in the river industry and worked there for over 60 years now. And that is in spite of my youthful appearance. What I want to share with the commissioners tonight is the fact that River Roots has gone through cycles up and down for the last 16, 18 months. There are some aspects of River Roots that did not mature as they had hoped. So the footprint of the River Roots Festival has shrunken in size, but I think what it offers to the city of Newport is the doorstep, the front doorstep to a very amazing festival. There are three main components right now. You have the riverfront, or the public landing in Cincinnati is phase one, and the Serpentine Wall, Yateman's Cove is phase two, and then the combination of the Purple People Bridge and the city of Newport is phase three. Now, why is this so important to Newport and to River Roots? First of all, you have a brand new facility called Ovations that is at the junction of the Ohio and the Licking River. It is an amazing, amazing facility. And it is going to be one of the central aspects of the Newport presentation. I see you all looking at the handouts. I give you a page 3 for those of you who have not gotten there. At Ovations, there will be a curated VIP bourbon tasting offering that will be on all 4 nights of the festival, and that is October the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. In addition to that, there will be a speakeasy, there will be a Beeline restaurant, and there will also be a beer tasting facility that's up there that will be open for all 4 days of the ceremony. As you move up from Ovations, moving from west to east, the first thing that you would encounter as you go into the Newport city front, just east of the Taylor Southgate Bridge, is the entertainment center, which will be open all 4 days of the ceremony, or of the festival, excuse me. and it will have daily local talent that will be performing several times in the 9-10 hours that the festival is open. In addition to that, there will be a 200 by 40-foot tent that will host a bourbon tasting experience. It will be a paid ticketed event, but it will be open all 4 days of the festival from opening until close. There are at least 20 different bourbon, I don't drink, so what are they, distillers that will be there. There's been a lot of interest to that. Pre-sales of that have been, better than River Roots has anticipated. There will be a number of shoreside facilities or experiences that are open and free to the public. One of the biggest ones is a 2,000-gallon tank, freshwater tank, that is sponsored by Orsanco. They will have the day or two prior to the festival itself, that they have experts that will go in and they will capture shock fish in the Ohio River. They will stock the tank, and so it will give the patrons of the facility the opportunity to see just exactly what's here and the variety of fish. There's about 45 species of fish in the Ohio River as we speak. The key, I think, to this, and I think a real patron exhibit that will be very well received, and something that I know, Mr. Mayor, that you have had concerns about, is the Living Lands and Waters facility that was a floating facility that will be on the Ohio River, and it will be immediately upstream of the USS Nightmare. There is a feeling, if you will, that this is a garbage barge, and I don't mean that with any kind of disdain. What I want to impress upon the commissioners and you, Mr. Mayor, is the fact that this is a very well-organized, almost 30-year organization, conservancy organization, that has been all over the inland waterways of the United States. It has been nationally recognized. The founder, who is a gentleman named Chad Pedracky, has been honored by President Bush's 1,000 Points of Light. He is internationally known for his work and his passion in cleaning up the inland waterway system. The equipment that he is bringing to Newport is multi-million-dollar, state-of-the-art, and it offers not only educational experiences, but he actually shows the people, and it's used, the term garbage is used very loosely. It is a demonstration of the materials that people from Pittsburgh all the way to New Orleans, and from Minneapolis, St. Paul, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, have arbitrarily thrown into the waters of our waterways, and the consequent pollution and just the fact that it doesn't look very good. So I would encourage, I would hope that this just gives you a snapshot presentation of that organization and the work that it does. And I will be willing to bet anybody that you will walk away from it impressed by the people and the facility itself. All that being said, we've got 9+ local establishments that are sponsoring food and drink. I talked with the River Roots folks this afternoon. There are a few other interested parties that would help to fill up the waterfront. So I do, for those reasons, I think that you will be well pleased with the end result come the night of the 12th of October. If there's any questions that I can answer, I'll be glad to answer them. If there are questions that I cannot answer, I will stick around. I will get your names, email addresses, and I will find the right person and get the answer. So with that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Bill. Are there any questions on the board? Mike?
Comment, yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Many years ago, I went to New Orleans to see a friend of mine who I went to high school with, who's a professional trombone player, and he was playing on the Steamboat Natchez. And I've had an opportunity to go back a couple times. He played with the Dukes of Dixie back at that time, and I'm looking forward to being able to take my parents there for brunch on Sunday. So this is a once in a generation opportunity, I think, for people to come out and see these impressive vessels that have helped shape the history of our region, as well as many other different cities along all of our rivers. So thank you. Looking forward to it.
I think, if I may, just one, this will be the only time, I think, at least in my lifetime, that you are going to be able to see the last two remaining actual steamboats in one place. The Belle of Louisville is 114 years old, and everything has an end cycle. So, and there's not anybody that's building them anymore. So I think the other 7 boats are beautiful boats from all over the United States. And then from a culture and cuisine standpoint, is every one of the boats are going to serve curated menus from their distinct geographic location. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, thank
Hey,
you.
Bill.
Oh, wait, not yet.
Yes, sir.
Ken, go ahead.
Bill, can I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate the educational components that are taking place on our side of the river. And I think that's wonderful. I've seen Orsanco do that before with the fish, and it is tremendous to see the variety of fish that are in our river. It's amazing to see gars and paddlefish and all the other exotic fish that are really right there, So,
Yes, sir.
And the fact that you're having an educational component with regard to the cleanliness of the river too, I really am enthused about that. I remember, the Tall Stacks event. I know we're not supposed to say tall stacks, but so those are my two.
You're among friends.
Yeah.
Those are my two comments, and I was so excited about Tall Stacks, and it was really quite an event.
Well, if I may, in addition to the living ends and waters, one thing I failed to mention, the United States Coast Guard has volunteered the cutter Obion and its buoy tender barge. They are bringing it in. It will be here for all 5 days. It will be open to the public, and for those that are interested in what it takes to make the system a system, they are also going to be part of the program.
Our waterway is so underappreciated by our community, and I think it's great that you're bringing there. So those are my comments. The questions that I have, you talked about an activation of the People Bridge. Do you want
Yes,
to
sir.
speak? You want to speak to what's going to happen there?
What I know is that there are currently 55 artisans,
Oh, wow.
and I think they are all artisans, but there might be a couple food venues in there.
Okay.
But as of today, there were 55 separate artisans or other entities participating on the Purple People Bridge.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Bill, thanks for coming in. Tell Alan the made-up excuse of DC, he needs to be here next time. But there's a lot of joy surrounding this 250th anniversary, and to have the Tall Stacks, the educational component, which is going to be important for our kids to learn how important the waterway is, and to make sure we do not pollute it in the way of some of the things they're going to see. But above all, there's a lot of joy attached to this event, and new eyes, and the races, the steamboat races that are going to come through, and the shenanigans that take place among those. It's a lot of fun, looking forward to it, excited about it, and it's going to be here before you know it. So thanks to you and your entire team that's making this happen to make sure that we have a great event, that everyone is safe, and I know that a lot of time and effort's been gone into it, so thank you for your effort.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is public forum. Anyone wishing to speak to any item that is not currently listed on the agenda, this is the time. Public forum going once, twice. Public forum is closed, which will take us to the approval of the minutes, regular minutes of August 18th and the special minutes of September 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or corrections? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Commissioner Sutherland,
Yes.
Commissioner Redwanski,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith Morrow,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. Takes us to old business, second reading of Commissioners' Ordinance Number 13.
An ordinance of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, levying and assessing ad valorem taxes for city purposes for the fiscal year 25 through 26 on all property located within the City of Newport, Kentucky.
So moved.
Second.
John?
So Mayor, this is a second read. This is the tax rates chosen by the city, which we have traditionally done as compensating rate +4. Of course, this year, our budget is balanced. We feel like that things are lean, but we are preparing ourselves because you can never discount that there could be an economic downturn anytime around the corner. So I think we're doing the responsible and prudent thing with our taxes this year. And as we saw from Lenny's presentation last week, when you take into account not only the real estate tax, the lack of a fire district tax, that Newport is really in the bottom of tax rates in Campbell County, and we're also more than competitive with similar-sized cities in the region as well.
Thank you, John. Anyone on the board? I'd just like to make the comment that we had a public hearing at that meeting, and we've gone through the presentation and the process, so that we are at the final step of setting the tax rate. Ken?
Tom, I have heard comments from folks about, taking the +4, but I think it would be imprudent for us not to take a rate that at least acknowledges the fact that interest and inflation, we need to take that into account. So this is the appropriate thing to do.
Thank you, Ken. Anyone else? Anyone in the public? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Sutherland,
Yes.
Commissioner Redwanski,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith Morrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. Second reading of Commissioners' Ordinance Number 14.
An ordinance of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, amending ordinance 02509 by amending the adopted budget for the City of Newport for the general fund for the fiscal year July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Mayor, this is just a pass-through. This is based on CBD grant money. One of the requirements that they have is the money must be shown on our budget at the time. Because the figures weren't available at the time that we passed the budget, since we've got them, we've amended the budget to account for that.
Thank you, John. Any questions on the board? Public?
Community Development Block Grant.
Tiffany, please call the roll.
Commissioner Odwanski,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith Morrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Commissioner Sutherland,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. That takes us to new business, Commissioners' Order Number 64.
In order, the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, authorizing the city manager, John Hayden, to accept the bid from Carhill Company and Irvin Wood Recovery for the Department of Community Service pursuant to the bid received August 5th, 2025, and the rebid received on August 15th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
John, or Brian?
Mayor, this is our annual supplies that we bid out every year for the Public Works Department. We routinely bid out numerous items that we routinely use, but only get responses for some of those. This year is not unlike others. The most important one to lock in every year is the road salt bid. That is only a very modest increase from last year's numbers at increase of $5 per ton. Just for reference, we normally use about 200 tons per year. We all remember this year was ugly, and we used about 800 ton. So hopefully we don't repeat that, but this is very important to get that locked in. In addition to that, black hardwood mulch and safety surface, those numbers are actually down from the previous vendor from last year, which is a positive thing.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions on the board? From the public? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Smith Morrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Commissioner Sutherland,
Yes.
Commissioner Redwanski,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes, we have one more item on the agenda this evening, but before we move on to that, I'd like to take this moment to share a proclamation celebrating 20 years of partnership of the Purple People Bridge. So,
You gonna do the whereas?
I am going to do the whole thing. Oh, actually, I'm going to ask for your help.
Yes, I like that.
So when I get to the point and I point at you, I'm going to ask you to say whereas, so I don't have to say whereas every time.
Whereas,
The Purple People Bridge has long stood as a symbol of connection, community, and collaboration between Newport, Kentucky, and our River City neighbors. And
whereas,
South Bank Partners is a co-founding member, joined the city of Newport to create a nonprofit Purple People Bridge Company, which has played a pivotal role in stewarding and supporting this landmark for more than 20 years. And
whereas,
through this transfer of ownership from the Purple People Bridge Company, the Purple People Bridge is entrusted fully to the city of Newport, ensuring its continued preservation, activation, and benefit as a critical piece of public infrastructure for a future generation. And
whereas,
this transition provides an opportunity to recognize and honor the legacy of South Bank Partners' leadership, commitment, and vision in bringing vision to reality through transformational economic projects in the city of Newport since 1997. And
whereas,
South Bank Partners has been an instrumental in the regional initiative since its founding through the creation of the South Bank Shuttle, its transition to the Transportation Authority of Northern Kentucky, which is TANK, and most recently through Riverfront Commons, the Northern Kentucky Riverfront District, a vibrant, active destination featuring numerous amenities, including a 20-mile river walk spanning across 8 cities, which aims to create unbridled destination for every season of life. And
whereas,
the city of Newport reaffirms its commitment as a proud member of the City of South Bank Partners and celebrates its continuing role as a catalyst for economic growth and regional collaboration. Now, therefore, I, Thomas L. Gaduli Jr., Mayor of the City of Newport, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim recognition and appreciation for South Bank Partners, honoring their 20-year partnership with the City of Newport and the Purple People Bridge Company, and commending their enduring contributions to the progress and prosperity of the City of Newport and the Northern Kentucky region. Therefore, I set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Newport affixed this 15th day of September. Who's going to receive this? Come on up. Oh, come on, board members too. Come on up. Huh? Come on, yeah, welcome. Here you go. Here, you get in the middle. You guys get in the middle, I'll get in there with you. All right. Awesome, thank you. Now, back to the legislation. Commissioner's Order number 65.
An order of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, approving and accepting transfer of the Purple People Bridge from the Purple People Bridge Company, Inc. to the City of Newport and authorizing Mayor Thomas L. Kaduli Jr. to execute a quitclaim deed to effectuate transfer of title.
So moved.
Second.
John, are we going to do a presentation attached to
Yes.
this?
So, that's correct, Mayor. So John Willis is here, from our staff, has been working on this with us, as with the Purple People Bridge, to give a brief overview of the history of the bridge, where we've been and where we hope to go. And a couple of things is that this is something that there's been some miscommunication or about this. Is some of the news headlines said that the city is buying the bridge, which is not correct. As we've honored South Bank with the proclamation, the Purple People Bridge has been a partnership that the city and South Bank partners have had through the Purple People Bridge Company for the past 20 years. And South Bank has been a very good partner and very good stewards of the bridge during this time. And as we have looked at what the challenges are, and the public is well aware that there are challenges with the bridge. There's repair work that needs to be done, there's painting that needs to be done. I think that there's other things that need to happen. We were looking to expand our reach, expand our partnerships, attempt to tap into other funding sources and things like that. So moving it from the Purple People Bridge to the city of Newport is in no way a knock on what has happened in the past or nothing dissatisfied about our partnership with South Bank. It's more, it's a new day with new opportunities. We've been having a lot of conversations with various entities throughout the last several months, looking for possibilities of how we might be able to move the bridge forward into the coming decade. So Mr. Willis will come up and share some of that with us.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Maybe? Bear with me. Yay. We beat technology for once. Let's go.
Once again. Yeah. Well, Commission Mayor, thank you for having me to say a few words about the bridge. I have to say this is an extremely exciting time. And truly throughout the entire history of the bridge, it has embodied the spirit of opportunity and connectivity. So Josh, if you go to the next slide. I won't go through this whole history lesson here, but when I was looking into the bridge, I learned something interesting that I haven't heard talked about much recently, at least. And it actually the reason that Newport got the bridge was because the city council at the time, we had a different form of government. They recognized an opportunity. At the time, there was a major railroad that ended in Covington, and they realized that they had a asset by being the terminus of that railroad. And so when they were faced with the opportunity to build a bridge from Covington to Cincinnati or retrofit the Roebling to take on rail traffic, they decided they didn't want to have it because they wanted to be the end. At the same time, Newport City Council recognized that they had the opportunity to build a bridge and make that connectivity happen between the state of Kentucky and Ohio, and so they jumped on it. And that's why the bridge was created in 1872. Throughout the years, it's basically carried every form of land-based transportation that you could possibly imagine, from carriage cars to pedestrians to bicycles to streetcars, you name it. It's gone across the bridge, and it's been altered many times throughout its lifespan. Excitingly, in 2022, the bridge celebrated its 150th anniversary of connecting our two cities and being a landmark that is recognized nationwide. Josh, next slide, please. And that leads us to today. The bridge is a lot of things. It connects our communities. It promotes safe and active transportation. And for people who ride bikes or run or even just go on walks, they recognize it as an asset to our region. And it also provides a recreation space. So in thinking of a slogan or a tagline that encompasses all of those things, we've really come to believe that the Purple People Bridge is a park with a purpose. And the results of having it in our community are, it's great for our businesses, it's great for our residents, it's great for our region, it attracts tourism, and really you could go on and on the laundry list of positive things the bridge brings to our community. You can go on. Another interesting thing, and thanks to Tri-State Trails for providing this data to us, but the Purple People Bridge is empirically the most popular trail in the entire Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky MSA. In a year where the bridge is open every single day, just about 700,000 people will go across the bridge, and that's likely an undercount due to the way that the counters are designed. So there's a lot of data up on the screen here. We have going back to 2017. I haven't gotten 2025 figures yet, but I'd imagine that it's going to be potentially even higher than what we saw in 2023 there. Josh, you go to the next. And while it's our imperative to keep the bridge open 24/7, 365, safety has always been the top priority. And there have been periods where the Purple People Bridge Company felt that for the safety of the community and of the region, it was right to close it down and make necessary repairs. And while that was 100% the right decision to make, this data really shows that bridge closures truly do undermine utilization. 2023 is a year that we would consider that's the cream of the crop for the bridge. It was open every single day for use. There was not a single day that it was shut down, and you can see that the impact that has. Almost 700,000 people crossed the bridge in that year, whereas in years where we had to make necessary repairs and close the bridge for public safety, there were serious drops in utilization. And that leads us to today. As was said in the proclamation, we wouldn't have the opportunity that we have today if it were not for South Bank Partners and the partnership that they forged with the city back in the early 2000s to really save the bridge. And I feel fortunate to be at the city in this time when we are taking on this regional asset. And for the reasons up here, I believe that we are best suited to take on this unique opportunity. One, we have the dedicated staff members, myself included, who will be working day in and day out to make this bridge as great as it can be and also preserve it for generations to come. It adds efficiency to the governance of the bridge. Something that we found when we were trying to have conversations around the bridge were that it was a little bit complicated to explain to people that don't understand the history of how the partnership came to be, and municipal ownership just makes it a little bit more straightforward to communicate that aspect of it. And then lastly is financial access. Something that we've found throughout this process is that by making this a city-owned asset, it unlocks potential funding sources that frankly would not be available in any other type of ownership. And so that is another huge aspect. So for those three reasons, we truly believe that we are the right operator at this time for the bridge. Josh, you go next. And we've really hit the ground running. Everything that you see up here are steps that we have taken in the approximately week or so since ownership was voted on at the Purple People Bridge Company board meeting. The first step we took, and Mr. Steffen was very quick to take the step, was there was a piece of hanging metal under the bridge that we didn't believe posed a significant safety risk, but we wanted to address it because it was low-hanging fruit, so to say. We've also immediately initiated cross-river coordination and prepared bid specs that are ready to go out at any time to address the repairs that are needed on the Cincinnati side of the bridge. Next week, we have a meeting with Cincinnati's engineering team, and we'll be doing a site visit on the bridge with them to talk about the permitting process that'll need to go with the bid that will go out in short order. We've also signed an agreement with a planning and urban design consultant who's going to help guide us through this process of building a coalition and visioning for what the future of the bridge could be. They're going to help us bring more people to the table, bring more partners in for the bridge, and ultimately help us achieve our goals that we have. And the last thing was more of a procedural step, but it's a very important step for the future of the bridge. But both the Purple People Bridge Company's legal team and the city's legal team have been working together to make sure that the title is clean and that the real estate transfer is as smooth as it can possibly be. And with the resolution that was passed at the Bridge Company board meeting last week and tonight's legislation, the transfer will have gone through smoothly. So then for what's next? The truth is that we don't have a set plan for what the bridge should be or how this should exactly go, and that's an important part of how we're approaching this process. We want to leave it open-ended to a degree so that partners can come in and the region can help us decide what the future of the bridge really is. But it's very important that we do define a plan and vision for what the bridge is. As I said, we believe it's a park with a purpose, but that can mean a lot of things. Another important step is securing long-term funding, along with near-term funding to fund the necessary repairs that we know are needed. Another important aspect is paving and securing and really cementing regional partnerships and getting that investment, that long-term investment from partners around the region to keep the bridge open and healthy for years to come. And then lastly is to establish a governance system, similar to what the Purple People Bridge Company was, but encompassing more of our entire region that truly reflects the regional asset that we are faced with today. And so with that I'll end it. You know, the bridge came to the city of Newport as an immense opportunity, and today, because of the partnership that the city forged with South Bank Partners, we're faced with another extremely unique opportunity, and that is to help define and ensure the future of the Purple People Bridge. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions you all have.
Thank you, John. Anyone on the board? Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, just a couple comments. You know, we initially talked about this conversation with what to do with the bridge back at our planning session. Mr. Hayden, I believe it would have been sometime in February? February. Yeah, so I mean, you know, that's a time for us, and we do that each year where we lay out more or less discussion on strategy for the whole year. That meeting was recorded. You can go back and watch it if folks would like to do that, to see what conversations were had, as well as that was on an agenda that was published, and people could come to those sessions and watch and see us work, essentially. You know, I think this is a huge asset. You know, a lot of folks use this every day. This is part of their commute. This is how they get to and from their places of work. This is how they relax. So I'm very excited and optimistic as well as to see how this goes. The only ask I would have with this mayor board is that we try to do a few caucuses along the way to get some input from the community on what they would like to see. So, you know, this is an asset that belongs to all the folks, especially here in Newport, but also have the opportunity for the public to come in and provide feedback. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else on the board? Julie?
I would just, of course, really like to thank the South Bank Partners and the Bridge Board for really making some good decisions, hard decisions, I think, of late, and really commend our staff for already being so forward in working on this just since last week. You know, the bridges, I'm not going to add a whole lot to what's already been said, but I feel very strongly about the history of our bridge. And I know of many families that I have studied over the last 100-some years who have lived and worked on both sides of the bridge, and without that bridge, they would have had a hard time getting across to where family members lived or where they worked. So it's important that we remember that history always, but move forward and continue to connect people in our region. This is, you know, that's what bridges are for, and this one is a really good example of doing that. And I'm delighted that we are already working with friends across the river and throughout the region. That's of course, brilliant and an excellent way to move forward. So I'm just really grateful for everything that everybody's been doing on this, and excited for the next vision and next phases that will be coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie.
Surely.
Yeah.
You know, John, you've done a terrific job. I can't say this is what we need, and we need this vision. But first of all, I want to thank the Bridge Company and South Bank Partners for shepherding this being good stewards to this asset, this regional asset. And hearing you say that you're the key man, you know, I like that too, you know, because I'd marked down here the key person. I am concerned, and let me just say, and I hope, Will, you'll share all the financials with the city, your current, maybe 5 years back, P&Ls and balance sheets, so that we can incorporate this within our own financials. And I would hope that our finance department would quickly put this asset, similar to what we did with the CBDG, that we put it in our books, and we have projections on income loss. And eventually, maybe it doesn't reside within our books, but right now, we have to hope for the best and plan for the worst. And but thank you very much for this presentation, because I think it answers a ton of questions for people in the outside too. So appreciate it.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Thanks for the presentation. Excellent job. This is an awesome thing that we're doing tonight. This bridge construction started just a few years after the Civil War. There's a lot of history associated with this thing, and it's been connecting Cincinnati and Newport for over 150 years. As John alluded to in his presentation, 700,000 people cross the bridge every year, including me, my family, my neighbors, along with people really throughout the world. When you cross that bridge, you hear languages from all over the world, and a lot of people go there for pictures, and it really truly is a park with a purpose. And I think that that's something we can build on. Adding on to that, I'm committed to making Newport the most bicycle and pedestrian friendly city in northern Kentucky, and this is a crucial asset for that. As John said, this is the most popular trail for bicycles in the region, and that's huge if you think about all these bicycle trails, especially the Loveland Trail, which is really, really nice. So this is a really visited place. So I'm confident that staff can manage and obtain funding for this. I think that's already started. The ball's already started rolling on that, and voting yes tonight is a momentous step in preserving this asset for generations to come. So thanks to staff and John for this presentation.
Well done on all fronts. I mean, seriously, this is a big day. And again, South Bank Partners, this bridge wouldn't be an asset of the city if it wasn't for that partnership. The first part of this bridge was built, clearly was a railroad bridge during the history. But when we received the bridge from the state of Kentucky, we were not eligible to receive the railroad portion, which added to the complexity of this transaction, which required this partnership and the stewardship that achieved something amazing. And we're here today to build on the good work and the incredible stewardship that was done by South Bank Partners. South Bank Partners and their team did great work through this entire time. That said, there's portions of this bridge that are unactivated. Imagine the deck of the railroad side activated. It's all going to require funding. It's going to require teamwork. It's going to require regional partnerships, but we've got the framework to do it. Appreciate the effort. But I do have to ask the public if they'd like to speak. Have any questions before I call the roll? Anyone from the public? Come on up, Will.
Just say a few words. Let me start off by saying John did an excellent presentation, by the way. That is a good recap in just the short time I've been involved in the bridge company side. If I can make one ask of Josh, can you go back to the history slide a second? Because I think this is a key point that John had mentioned here. When you look back 150 years of this bridge, only 20 years of that duration was it owned by a nonprofit. And when you think about the limitations of a nonprofit and the funding structure for that, it has always been a piece of public, critical infrastructure for the community. So I just applaud the city, first and foremost. That's not an easy task, and I think it comes with such a bold vision that you see the opportunity ahead. And when you see the limitations that the bridge company as a nonprofit has, when you talk about utilizing the bridge as an event venue or sign rentals and things, you can't generate enough money to really invest into the highest potential of the bridge. So I just want to give kudos to the Board of Commissioners and the staff seeing this opportunity in the time of transition, because we'd love to see the bridge another 150 plus years, and that wouldn't be possible without the City of Newport and regional partnerships really stepping up to the plate. So kudos to you all, and we've got the financials. I know every year we do like a 990, so we've got those, and I know John has them. And if you all need anything else, we've been a partner of the City of Newport for 28 years from the South Bank Partners side. It's the only city that South Bank Partners had a separate nonprofit with for 20 years. So always here to help. And again, kudos to you all. You guys have done an excellent job. And big shout out to John and the team as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Anyone else in the public? Come on up. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Rosemary Williams. I work for the city of Newport. I am so excited for you all. I know y'all gonna do some great things. Also, that's my favorite color, so I love the purple people. Yeah, but congratulations.
Thanks. And you look around the room, and there's a lot of purple in this room tonight. My tie is not an accident. I think Matt's might have been an accident, but he was. Okay, yeah, everybody loves the Purple People Bridge. And remember, 2001, it was saved from imminent demolition. And that is a moment in time that has put us in this place to continue to improve and make it better for the next generation. With that, please call the roll.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Commissioner Sutherland,
Yes.
Commissioner Radronsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith-Morrow,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. And that concludes the legislation for this evening, and we will move to department head comments. Chief Fangman.
Nothing, Mayor, but thank you.
Chief Peluso.
Nothing, thank you.
Brian.
Nothing.
John.
The only thing I want to bring is a lot of good news tonight. I want to change the mood. We have a sad announcement that I was given earlier today that a real legend in the history of Newport, Mr. Robert Ingalls, passed away. And Mr. Ingalls, as everyone in this room is aware, was not only a leader in the African American community in the city and a tireless advocate for the Southgate Street School, but just an advocate and a cheerleader for the city of Newport in general. Mr. Ingalls was over 90 years old and was a wealth of knowledge, and every time you saw him, he greeted you with a smile and he had positive things to say. And the city will not be the same without seeing Mr. Ingalls around. So thoughts and prayers to his family and his many friends and the many lives that he's touched over his life here in the city.
Thank you, John. On the board, Ken?
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about the bridge and about a little bit of the history. There was a young man who worked here, Eric Avner. I don't know if anybody remembers him. Eric currently, I think he works in Canada and manages a city in Canada maybe. And the bridge was going to be blown up and torn down. As I said, to blow it up, I didn't mean it that way. But anyway, the advantage of taking it and making it part of us, it was that we got the money that it would have cost to blow it up and tear it down, and that helped sustain the bridge for those 20 years that you guys managed it for us, and that's wonderful. And I want to recognize Eric and the person that he worked for, Laura Long, who was our economic development director, who shepherded this agreement, and Jim Parsons, who struck those legal agreements between all of us to make this work. So I don't want to forget and be remiss in not mentioning their names. There are a lot of other people that should be mentioned, that worked along the way, preceded Will. But I think I would miss somebody in there and it wouldn't be right. So anyway, I did want to mention those originators. That's all I have, Tom.
Thank you, Ken. Aaron?
I just want to say thank you to our staff. I constantly have questions for the police chief, the fire chief, the city manager, the assistant city manager, John Willis, the legal department. Everyone's always so willing to pick up the phone if a constituent is reaching out to me about some bizarre issue, or maybe it's not so bizarre. Recently I had a few bizarre ones. But I really appreciate you guys being so receptive and even just providing your cell phone numbers to folks that need answers that you guys can answer for them. So I really appreciate that. Living in Newport and being a part of Newport is really like being a really small town, because everybody knows everybody, it feels. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Aaron. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. We have two major events that are coming up, and offer my condolences to the Ingalls family. He was quite a legend in Newport. But also want to talk about, we have 2 events that are coming up here, one of which is the Mammoth Arts and Music Festival. That is taking place on Sunday, October 5th. That is a free event that is open to the public on Monmouth and on 6th Street. This is going to be a big event, we think, this year. I'm very happy to see the amount of work going into it. You might see some advertisements around town. This is something that I think that you'll want to put on your calendars and try to make it out for. The second event is the Wheels Back on Monmouth Car Show, which will take place on October 19th, which is a Sunday. So that'll be another really great event. You know, we had a big turnout last year to the point where we ran out of places to put cars. So, yeah, so, you know, I would like to thank the Captain Kunkel, who spent a lot of time on that on staff, putting that together, going to car shows throughout the region, trying to recruit folks to come to it. It's a really great event, and look forward to seeing y'all there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. Julie?
Also, my condolences to the Ingalls family. He was really a great guy. That's pretty sad news. I'd like to also just update everybody briefly on OKI. One of the big things that happened last week in our executive committee meeting was a report from the Federal Highway Administration District on the recertification. And evidently, I'm new to the board there just this year, but every 4 years, they need to go through recertification. And there's a lot of work that's done with staff and questions and examination of grants and all kinds of things. It's a pretty intensive thing. The report was delayed a little bit because of illness of someone who was going to appear at the last meeting and do this, but the report was really excellent, and OKI is compliant in all areas. The representative from the Federal Highway Administration District said that they set the standard for all MPOs across the country, which is pretty impressive. And they received commendations in 6 areas, and I'll just mention 3 of those: congestion mitigation, GIS mapping, and a housing dashboard that they've done. So it was a very, very happy day at OKI last week to receive this, although maybe not too much of a surprise that they received such a glowing report. But so we're good to go for 4 more years. And Newport does have several grants that OKI helps us manage. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Still a little bit of shock about Mr. Engels. I considered him a friend and a mentor. He taught me a lot of things, and I'd like to honor him with a moment of silence as we end the meeting. Amen. I'll take a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sutherland?
Yes.
Commissioner Odronsky?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smith Morrow?
Yes.
Commissioner Recton?
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli?
Yes. Thank you all.